Hi, all. I'm Dr. Mahesh. Today, I'm going to discuss about what you mean by or who are the corporate stakeholder or what is the meaning of corporate stakeholder. Who are the stakeholders of a business and impact their impact on the corporate objective and or stakeholders impact on the corporate objective. So today video mainly discuss about the two basic points or who are the stakeholders of a business and how it impact on the core objective of financial management or impact on the corporate objective. Okay. So firstly, we want to understand what you mean by corporate stakeholders. The corporate stakeholder means those peoples or those institutions they have a vested interest in my company. So I am running a company. Those who are peoples who are a vested interest in my operation, in my company operation. Those all group, all individual, all institution we are consolidatedly called corporate stakeholders. So corporate stakeholder means nothing. Corporate stakeholder means the individual or institution who are have interested in our performance, in a company's performance. They are called stakeholders of that particular company. Okay. For example, in who are the persons interested to know about the company's performance? Firstly, be familiar. Owners must be known. Employees, customers, government, society, all of the number of factors, number of individual institutions are very much interested to see the performance of a company. So simple way, those who are vested interested in operation of a particular company is called, those peoples are consolidatedly called corporate stakeholders. Okay, the corporate stakeholders mainly divided into these categories. So first, the corporate stakeholder we are called equity investors or ordinary shares. They are called the real owners of the business. So real owner want to know about how business is performing, they are earning profit or not. So first investor, the first interested party is equity investors or the owner of the company. So first stakeholder is the owner. Second one is company managers or directors. Normally, those people invest money into the business, but they are not professionally skilled. In that situation, they are hiring the professionally skilled people as a managers. So they run business for the real owners. Okay, so the managing people, the manager, including general manager to departmental or inspecting level or supervisory level managers. So those peoples are very much interested in business operation because they are running the business. So they are called company managers or stakeholders, the another stakeholder. And third one is company employees. Number of employees are working in a particular company. Those employees always bothered about the company's performance. Why? Because of their existence, because of their long-term life. If the company is going to liquidate, going to wind up, in that situation, those people lose their job. So they are very much curiosity about the performance of a company. So the company employees are the another stakeholder, and the customers, those who peoples who use the product of a particular company. If I regularly purchase a particular type of product from a particular company, I'm bothered about how is the company's performance, company's well going, their quality, their social service, every factor I continuously observe. So customer is the another stakeholder. And suppliers. Suppliers are those institution or individual who are providing raw material to the company. Why they are bothered about the company performance? They are bothered because of they need to a long-term relation with company. They need to regularly supply product to us. and they required a proper repayment of their liabilities. So suppliers is the another stakeholder. Then finance providers. Who is the finance provider? Finance provider means those institutions provide finance. We can call it bank. Banks and non-banking financial institutions come under this category. So they are providing different types of loan to a particular company. So they regularly look at how the company is performing. If company is performing good, if company is earning more, they surely providing additional assistance to them. If the company is going down, or this performance is a diminishing trend, the bank or financial institution normally try to collect the maximum amount as early as possible. So financial provider is the another stakeholder. Then government. Why the government bothered about the company performance? Because of government need to collect the taxes. Government need to collect the implementing different policies. Government need to evaluate the company's contribution to the GDP. So government is bothered about in that angle, developmental angle, political angle. And the community. The last stakeholder is community. The community, why bothered about the companies? They view about the company provide quality product, company provide eco-friendly services, sustainable way. They are protecting the natural resource for the future generation. So everything they are looked at by the community. So these are the these are the stakeholders of a particular business. So these peoples, these institutions or these peoples, we are consolidatedly called stakeholders. Okay, so we are familiar who is a stakeholder. Stakeholder is nothing. Stakeholder is those peoples or those institutions which they have a vested interest in a particular company. So they are called the stakeholders of that particular company. Example of stakeholders are equity investors, company managers, company employees, customers, suppliers, finance provider, government, community at large. Clear? Then we are discussing about what is the impact of these corporate stakeholders on the corporate objective of the financial objectives. So we are familiar what is the core financial objective of the organization. The traditionally profit maximization, then EPS growth, and later now present the every business following the wealth maximization objective. Okay, or other ways, I am discussing in each of these stakeholders in which angle, in which dimension they are thinking, which financial dimension they are thinking. Definitely their observation is different. The company manager's observation different from the equity of shareholders. The company employees observation is entirely different between the government observation. Government observation is entirely different with the compared to the finance providers. So what is their perspective? What is their dimension view about the financial view of a particular firm's performance? So the next part I'm going to discuss about the impact. Stakeholders' impact on the corporate objective. Okay. So we are going to cover one by one. The first one is equity investors or ordinary shares or real owners. Actually, what is the financial objectives of real owner? The real owners, the core objectives is he tried to plan, he implement the policy like to enhance the wealth of firm. He's tried to evaluate what growth, how much percentage growth happened during a particular year. So actually in the financing market, the debt securities, in the different types of securities like debt, debenture, bond, a lot of securities are there. Among these securities, the high risk taking securities equity shareholders, because of their return is not guaranteed. So equity shareholders, what is this, or real owners, what is his expectation? He always try to enhance his business value. He's not look at the return of the share, but ultimately he look at what percentage of growth happened to the business. So in the view of equity shareholders, he's a high risk finances he provided, and that situation they look at the business, whether the financial objectives is look at or diverting to the profit, not profit maximization, the wealth maximization objective. If the financial activities, financial decisions are supporting the wealth maximization. So equity shareholders, financial related corporate objective means it is a purely, we can call it is a purely wealth maximization objective. So they are argue for the maximizing the wealth of equity investors. So first stakeholder equity investors. Second one is company managers. So company manager, we are familiar. The real owners cannot run a business because of they do not have the professional skill. In that situation, they are normally appointing the qualified professional person for running the business. These professionally qualified people for running the business, they are consolidately called the management of a business. Management is an agent for the real owner. They work for the real owner. So what is the financial objective of them? They have purely two types of objective. They have two types of goal. They have the long-term objective and also short-term objective. What is the long-term objective? Long-term objective is equal to the argument, equal to the objective of equity shareholders. They try to enhance the value of the firm. They try to enhance the wealth of the firm. At the same time, what is the short-term objective of a company manager or a management? The short-term objective of this manager is to maximize the profit margin. What is the benefit of that? If the managers increase the profit margin, automatically they get a particular share of that profit. They get an additional bonus. They get additional incentives. So they also look at long-term as well as short-term objective. Okay, that is the financial perspective, financial view of company managers. And next one is company employees. Next stakeholder is company employees. Company employees, why they about the financial performance of a company. The company employees observes, surely they are look at what are the benefit they get. If the company creates surplus, what are the benefit? How much bonus? How much additional incentives? So the financial objective of employees are look at their salary, their wages, their increment, their incentives, their facilities, their and the another related services, etc. are considered. Okay. So company employees or the trade unions like to residual benefits of a surplus the company created. So they are looking at the what are the benefit they get. Okay. Then the next stakeholder is customer. Customer, why the customer bothered about the company's performance, company's related facts? The customer always think if he's or she's paying certain amount for procuring a product, the product is a product or service providing the value of money. For example, I purchase a particular a notebook or textbook or file, something like that. So after paying a certain amount, I think about that much money is worthable product, is it or not? That product is worthable or not? The worthing one, we are satisfied. If not worth, we never purchase the same product next stage. So just like the customers always need to achieve whether the product provided by the company or service provided by the company is it's providing value of the money or not. It's providing the worthable or not. Okay, that is the perspective of the customers. Then suppliers. So suppliers, we are familiar. Supplier regularly supply raw material or requirement material to the company. So what is their financial objective, financial dimension of that particular? They think about whether they get a continuous deal, that they get a continuous deal for a long period of time. And also they also think about they get the proper payment, regular payment at a correct time or not. This is the related to supply stakeholder. Then finance provider. Who is the finance provider? We are familiar. The loan creditors, banks or MBFCs are called finance providers. The finance providers always look at the company in what perspective? Their ability to repay the debt, repay their dues. Whether the company is eligible, company's is capacity to repay their debt. So always the finance providers are look at these angles. Clear. So financial perspective of this stakeholder, think about the repaying capacity of a company. Okay. The last two stakeholders are, first one is government. Government have two financial agenda. First one is political, second one is financial interest. Political means it is nothing. Some government need to an equality development in the society. Okay, the political need is like this. If I am decided to start a company or decided to start a branch in somewhere else, so I need to get a permission. So in that situations, or the government provide different types of cess, different types of industrial park, like info park, different infrastructure facilities are provided by the government, and the government invite company like us. So need to expand. What are the companies are producing new product, or who are the companies come to the new markets? So government give number of assistance for the equality development. So from that agenda, they are looking at whether a company is eligible for starting a particular branch or not like this. That's a political. Political means an equality implement in all the places and reducing unhealthy competitions, etc. Okay, the financial interest is they think about whether company is how much amount contribute to the GDP, how much amount is contributed to the taxable income. So it's a financial interest. So government stakeholder, government is a stakeholder. They have the political interest and also the financial interest. And last stakeholder is community at large. The society. The society think about whether the company is working in the environmental friendly, in a sustainable way. They're producing the organic food, safe the strains, everything they are look at the company's performance. If the company is adversely affecting the society, if company is adversely making a lot of pollution, making a lot of drainage in the society of people normally react against this. So they are looking at whether company is functioning in a systematic and proper environmentally or sustainable way. So that is the financial perspective of community at large. Okay. So these are the major stakeholders of a corporate. So today video we are discuss what do you mean by corporate stakeholders, or who are the corporate stakeholders. Corporate stakeholders, simple word, those who are interested in the performance of a company, invested in the performance of companies called stakeholders. The major stakeholders are investors, company managers, company employees, customers, suppliers, finance providers, government, community at large. Then what is their stakeholders impact on the corporate objective, stakeholders impact on the financial objective of an organization. Equity shareholders always think about the wealth maximization. Company manager think both wealth maximization along with they are thinking about the earning profit for getting their benefits. Company employees look at their what are the benefit they get. Okay. Customers, they check about the value of the money. Suppliers think about whether they're getting a long-term relationship along with their proper repayment. Finance providers, credit paying capacity of a company is checking. Government, both the political and financial interest. Financial interest, tax related figures. Political equality in the society. Community, whether they check the financial contribution, CSR contribution factors are checked by the society or community at large. Thank you.